Sunday will mark 15 years since 9/11, a day when New York City's skyline was forever altered and the United States as a whole indelibly marked. Every day, thousands gather where the tower stood to remember the dead. But Ground Zero is now more than a memorial. Stephen D'Souza looks at the new life brought to a hallowed site.
Glistening in the afternoon sun, One World Trade Center stands out in the busy New York skyline, instantly catching attention. The memorial opened on the 10th anniversary, the tower 3 years later. Since then, this spot has quickly risen to the top of the tourist to-do list. There's the reflecting pools, the museum, and a new mall. The building itself has taken its place amongst the iconic buildings in New York City. But 15 years after 9/11, Ground Zero is still a construction site. Buildings are still going up. Other parts are being rebuilt. In a way, it's a reflection of the city's efforts to cope with the attacks. Like the physical transformation of the site, dealing with the emotions of 9/11 is a work in progress. 2 blocks away, it's happy hour at Suspenders. It's a different location than the one they had on 9/11. If you look closely, you'll see just a few reminders of its history. When the towers came down, firefighters and crews from across North America came to help. Owner William Ahern broke the locks placed by police and turned the bar into a refuge for first responders.
I could never allow people to sleep on the ground and look for my friends. So we broke the doors open and invited them in to sleep on the floors of Suspenders, which is what it was all about.
For Ahern, this anniversary is about the city showing its resilience.
We weren't destroyed after the 93 bombing. We won't be destroyed after this one. We've come back, and that's why we come here to stay here.
Across town, this weekend stirs up very different emotions for lawyer Ali Najmi.
Before 9/11, being Muslim was sort of irrelevant to most people, and now it's a very politicized thing.
In the last month, 3 Muslims, including an imam, were murdered in Queens. All were unconnected, and in each, the motive is unknown. But Najmi says it's enough to put people on edge.
People are really fearful of hate crimes. There's been certainly a lot of people who have told me stories about getting harassed in the street, people saying things to them.
The objective was to attack symbols of...
The fear, the anger, and pain of 9/11 do not fade easily. But amidst that, there is hope and renewal. This week, the design for the long-awaited Performing Arts Center at Ground Zero was unveiled.
It's so remarkable.
Developer Larry Silverstein says it's the final piece of the area's revitalization.
What you have is testament to life, to hope, to the desire to live in the best possible environment.
It's not just the site that's transformed, it's the entire neighborhood around it. Downtown Manhattan is one of the fastest growing areas in the city. There are now 5 times as many hotels as there were before the attacks, and 3 times as many people living here now.
You have to be a believer.
Famed architect Daniel Libeskind created the master plan for the site in 2003. He also lives nearby.
The aim of the project is to show the victory of life over the evil deeds that befell New York. And indeed, hundreds of thousands of people have moved back to this area, to Lower Manhattan.
He says the space has achieved its goal of being more than an homage to the victims.
It is a picture of the liveliness and the beauty of diversity and freedom of New York.
Back at Suspenders, Billy Ahern checks out the new space they're planning to expand to. For him, the resurgence of the neighborhood is another welcome step in the long recovery.
You can knock us down, but we get up. And we got up with the help of the entire world.
He says while it's their obligation to the victims to move on, the events will always cast a long shadow over the city, and what happened here will never be forgotten. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.